let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
Stop! That's the signal! Go! Go! Six! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Couple ways to look at it. Was it a 3-day weekend or was it a 4-day work week? Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushladio.com or on the Android app, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, give this channel a subscription, give the video a like, start leaving your comments in the comments section, and we'll play along with you for the next 2 hours. You can follow us on X at Rush Mornings, like our Facebook page, The Rush with Travis and Ross, and our Instagram page, The Rush Radio Show. Morning, Ross Peterson. What's going on?
I'm doing well, buddy. Is it a 3-day weekend or a 4-day work week? We get both. You ever think of the trash guys who drive the trash trucks?
Do I ever think about them?
Yeah, seriously. I'm dead serious. On days like Memorial Day, I really do think about those guys because they don't actually get a day off. Do you realize that?
See, in our town, they do.
Hear me out.
Okay, I'm going to hear you out.
Okay.
I'm going to hear you out.
Okay, so they get Monday off, you're saying?
Yes.
But doesn't that push everybody's trash day back a day?
Yes.
So they have to work on Saturday.
Oh, yes.
That's what I mean. They got Monday off, but now they still got a 5-day work week.
Oh, yeah. I never thought of it like that.
Isn't that crappy for I don't know why. that mailman too. Anybody that's a federal worker like that, they got a 5-day work week ahead of them. They're working on Saturday.
Okay, am I crazy? I swear to God, the mailman's been coming to my house on Sunday.
Yeah,
I swear
on Sunday.
Yes, I swear the U.S. Postal Service has been delivering like 7 days a week lately. And
didn't they start doing the deal where they started carrying like the last? There's a name for it. They do like the last mile of delivery for FedEx or something, or for
that might be part of it. I don't know, but I swear to God, I got something going in my mailbox like all the time. Like, hey, it's Sunday. What the hell are you working Sunday for?
Yeah.
Now, Amazon drivers, they'll just show up at I'll have guys like dropping packages off at like 3 a.m. I'm like, what are you doing at my house at 3 a.m.? It's like, don't deliver at 3 a.m. Then they take the little photo. Hey, yeah, we dropped the photo, the box off.
Do you have porch pirates in your neighborhood?
Not that I know of. Knock on wood.
We did for a while. I think they're gone. I think they've moved on. I think
sure
I hope the Ring doorbell cameras really slowed those down.
Well, and I think because I've got cameras all over my house, so it's like I would, they're not hard to spot, right? Is that because when you approach especially at night, if you approach the door, the little green light goes on and basically says, "Hey, you're getting recorded right now."
Yeah, and I also bought God's greatest early detection system. That's a dog.
My dog doesn't bark.
My dog does, which is nice.
It is.
My dog barks at stuff that's moving in the night.
His shadow?
No, not like that. Luckily, not like that.
Did you do anything on Memorial Day? Did you have fun? Did you go see your dad? What'd you do yesterday?
I did a lot of yard work. Went on a little hike yesterday. Went out to Thomas Mitchell Park with Courtney. Went on like a 2-mile hike around Thomas Mitchell. Went and did some yard work at her house. Came back here, did some yard work here. Yeah, again, like we talked about yesterday, don't really celebrate Memorial Day. You know what I mean? It's more of a, I guess, time for that. I don't know.
Yeah,
got a fun picture yesterday. My buddy Adam Bentz, a big fan of yours, fellow agent with me up at Agency Iowa. He is up at Ballard's Resort, and one of my favorite places, as you know. So I reached out to him yesterday, and his guide yesterday was a young man named Hunter, who was the same guy that helped Eli land his giant sturgeon. Eli caught like a 60-inch sturgeon one time off a dock, and this guide is the one that helped him, Hunter. So I had this great picture of Eli and this guide standing shoulder to shoulder, and the fish is wider than they are. So I was able to send that to Adam and go, "You were with this guy yesterday?"
That's cool.
It was
really,
fun.
really cool.
Yeah.
It rained over here like all day yesterday, so it was just kind of miserable. So I couldn't really do any yard work. I did get Home Depot was open on Memorial Day, so my wife is like a flower freak, so we have to have flowers all over the place. But now she's in a panic. She couldn't sleep last night because Greta's party is 2 weeks away. She goes back to school today. Summer school starts in Omaha today, so she's got to start teaching summer school. And she's like, we don't have any time to put this party together. And Greta is holding her party on the same level of everybody else's party that came before her. So, Abigail and Mary had these wonderful decorations because it was easy to decorate in a New Orleans theme because both of them went to New Orleans for college. So it was easy to decorate in a Mardi Gras theme. It's not like Savannah, Georgia has this really big theme, right? So we're trying to come up with some, and we can see she's on Amazon, like searching, Savannah themed parties. And it's like, she's letting her mom know, hey,
there's a bar.
And Abigail had really good decorations. I get good decorations, right?
Yeah.
And she's our baby. So, we'll go out and find them. But, next week I got to be in Muscatine on Saturday afternoon. I got to be in Des Moines on Saturday night. So I'm going to be crisscrossing the state left and right. So the party time's coming up. We're going to smoke 2 briskets and 2 pork shoulders.
Who's we?
Me and Owen.
Dang.
Why cater when you can do it yourself?
Dang.
Yeah, Owen's all pumped up about doing a couple briskets. He did a test run last week, and the brisket was really, really, really good. I was thinking about you yesterday, though, because it was one of those – I was in one of those situations where I'm like, I need to have a conversation with Ross just to see what he feels about this. And this is going to be a weird rabbit hole, and maybe I'm way off base here. But when it comes to brand loyalty, Ross, think about something you have brand loyalty to, or not even a brand, maybe a business loyalty, because small businesses that are just uber local don't have a national brand. They'll have a local brand, but they don't have a national brand. Why are you give me an example of somebody you're uber loyal to? No matter what, you're going to go that place.
I think the one that jumps out to me is Quick Star right now.
Okay.
That when if I'm pulling up to one of those corners that's got a get and go, come and go, Quick Trip, Quick Star, Casey's, they're scattered around the corners. I'm usually going to go to Quick Star because I like the food. I think that they seem cleaner. I don't know. Is that fair to say I'm brand loyal there? Somebody wrote Taco Casa. Listen, I'm a Tasty Tacos disciple. I am very brand loyal to my buddy Bruno. Most of the time, if I go out, it's going to be to one of Bruno's places. My brand loyal. I'm trying to think of some. I bet there are other examples of it, Trav. For a long time I drank Guinness beer. I wouldn't say that was brand loyal as much as it was the only beer I really liked.
Okay, what I'm about to tell you may trip your trigger on a different way of brand loyalty.
Okay,
by asking the question the way I did, you gave the absolute proper answer. So I have a slow leak in my back left tire, and I need to get it fixed. I just don't. But I always take my car to get fixed at a certain place because they have free air. I'm not joking here. It's the little things and not only do they have free air, they have a free air that comes out a really good air compressor. You've been to one of those places that have one of those little push button things that are just horrible, that don't put out any air. It takes you 30 minutes to put 5 pounds of pressure into a tire, right? I go to this place and I get my car fixed there all the time. I don't get gas there just because it's not convenient for gas, but I'm loyal to that place when it comes to my car repairs, just because they give free air. And this isn't a knock against Casey's. I usually get my gas at Casey's because it's right across the street from my office. But I needed some air out there the other day. It cost me $2.50 for 1 minute of air. And then I thought to myself, it's the little things that basically cost nothing that keep you coming back, right? So I run down to the Buc-ee's gas station, which is a mile away, to get.
You have a Buc-ee's in Omaha?
Well, see, not that's Buc-ee's. So Casey's actually bought out all the Bucky_S here.
Oh, okay.
But the one that stuck around was the service shop. And I've been going there for years, basically for the free air. And then I get my car fixed there all the time. It's kind of like a Mexican restaurant. If you go to a Mexican restaurant and you have to pay for chips and salsas, do you ever go back to that Mexican restaurant?
I don't know that I've ever been to a Mexican restaurant that charged me for chips and salsa. They could add it on the bill and I wouldn't know it. But if they said, would you like chips and salsa? It's $4.99. I'd go, pack your shit. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And I was having this thing. I go, what do businesses do that just give you something, a little something for free?
Crack me up, dude.
I know. This is where my brain goes. I mean, I'm just sitting there going, why do I come here all the time?
They got the good air.
They've got the good air. And I'm like, well, if they've got good air, they've got good mechanics. I don't know what a good mechanic is. I never had a bad experience there. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not mechanically inclined. But damn it, if they have a good air compressor that's free, I'm going back. And then my brain started going, okay, what are other places that subliminally give you something, and you don't even, and you may take it for granted, but you just keep going back because you're like, oh, I'm going to get free potato chips at happy hour. Yeah, I mean, something like that.
Can I be really dorky?
Yeah.
When I go out to Willis, they have a coffee machine that makes really good mochas.
But see, and it's
really
free,
good,
right?
It's free. Their lounge. First of all, I can take my laptop in. There's Wi-Fi. If I am busy or I want to go to the gym or something, they've got a rental car or a loaner car that I can take out. But that, as you were talking about that, for some reason, I was like, well, I go to Willis. I love going to Willis. What do I love about what I love about Willis is this, Travis. I don't have any leaks in my tires because if I do, they find it and fix it.
Oh, well, if I would actually bring mine in and say, hey, I got a slow leak, they would probably find it, right?
Yeah.
I'm too lazy to go, God, it's going to take 45 minutes out of my day.
The whole mechanic thing, man. I think they're called corner shops, right? And I've had great success with them, and I think like a lot of people, I've had really bad nightmares with them. There's one in my neighborhood that always had a great reputation, and I just saw somebody posting the other day saying, "Hey, what has happened at blank place? Because it isn't good. Like, this has happened. I'm having more problems than are being fixed." I was like, changes the people. What changed? The people. Kirk wants to know if Willis has that good air, though. Oh, Kirk. Oh, their air is so good. Sometimes they have to put little green things on the end of it to show how good it is.
Here's how good the air is that I go to, okay? And again, it's free. They actually have two, one on each side of the building. But during the wintertime, they put it inside so it doesn't freeze up on you. So you're always having good air. Do you know how much time this took in my brain yesterday? I was driving around and I'm having a conversation with Ross and he's not even on the phone. I'm like pretending Ross is in the driver's seat going, can you believe they give such good air here? It's amazing to me. And it keeps me coming back. Somebody said I've probably spent more money trying to be cheap. I don't think I have. because knock on wood, I haven't had a lot of car problems.
You've spent more money trying to be cheap. That's a good line. That's a good line. I don't know that it's true, but that's a good line.
But then that's when I started going, okay, what other small things keep you going back to a small business or
Okay. The Quick Start also has when you go to the air thing, it's got the automated. I think some of the Hy-Vee gas stations have this also. Where now you don't have to use your little tire gauge anymore. You know, I'm used to the hose and your tire gauge from your console. And you go, and then you test it, and you're like 17. 23, right? And you go back and forth until you get to where you're supposed to be. And then you're looking on the side of the tire to see what it's supposed to be. You're like, 26? Calling my brother-in-law. Hey, Doug, do you know PSI on the Jeep?
On those Goodyear Radial 350 stud tracks, do you know what my PSI is supposed to be?
So now you punch the PSI in on the machine.
See, but you're paying for air now. That's not free air.
No, that's free. That's a free machine.
Oh, at Quick Start? Because Casey's
at
the exact same one, and they're charging for that.
At Hy-Vee in Pleasant Hill, they've got this exact machine. I think a couple of them have that. You're paying for air? Oh, Omaha. Am I right? Omaha.
And I thought about this yesterday because I had to get air, but I had to stop. We were going out to my brother and sister-in-law's, and I had to stop and get gas. And I'm right there, and there it is, the air machine. And the air machines don't take quarters anymore. The sons of bitches don't. It's credit card only, and it's tapped.
Debit for for the air.
Yes. Debit card for air.
Man, remember the good old days when the gas station just had the hose on the side of the. Some of the Casey's are still that way.
That's where the gas station I go to. That's all it is. Hose on the side of the thing coming out of the machine shop.
That's the good air. That's the good air.
Good air, man.
Okay.
That is good air.
It's like the water from the faucet. It's like the water from the hose.
Yeah, buddy.
Why is that water different? Because it's got all the minerals.
It's coming out, and it's got the taste of the rubber coming through the hose.
The rubber and the metal and the fluoride. It's all there. Chlorine. It's just right smashing you in the face. I heard a story this weekend. Do you have rabbit hole time, or do you want to get into stuff? Because I know you got some stuff.
We'll get to Caitlin Clark and all that other stuff a little bit later on. This is the way I wanted to start the show.
Oh, dude, while I was mowing the yard, my freaking wheel fell. I had Eli mowing the yard. He was mowing the neighbor's yard. And the wheel fell off the mower. Fell off. Went, tightened it back up. Mowers at the Ace Hardware getting fixed up. But while I'm mowing, I'm listening to a podcast while I was doing yard work. And I heard this story about, do you have an electronic toothbrush?
I do. It's a knockoff like Sonic type thing.
Yeah, I have an actual Oral-B.
The hell out of your teeth.
Yeah, shakes them clean. So this story came out of this is a British private investigator. His name is Paul Jones of ARF Investigators. Caught a guy cheating on his wife using his electric toothbrush. Yes.
What do you have, pubes on it?
The wife had, so the and remember remember last Thursday, Bruno was talking about how his daughters watch their app. You can fire up the app and it shows you which teeth you've cleaned and which ones you haven't. So they watch the app. Well, the app also keeps track of when you brush your teeth. The private investigator accessed the data for the toothbrush and realized that every Friday, the dude was brushing his teeth at like 10:45 a.m. He should be at work. Well, what the hell is he doing brushing his teeth at 10:45 a.m. every Friday? The kids and wife were not home. He was bringing his mistress to the house.
Mistake number one.
The mistakes were before that, Travis. I'm sorry. I want to look at you. Yeah, the toothbrush held the information that incriminated his adulterous behavior.
See, now my toothbrush is not that sophisticated where it's on an app because I bought it on Amazon for like $29.95. But it's a really good toothbrush, but not app induced to where they can get data for you. See, that's another thing. Anytime you want to download an app, and download the Rush Radio app because it's a great listening experience. And we don't collect data like that. But yeah, I mean, read the fine print of when you basically hit. Yeah, I agree to the terms.
I don't have the app. I just have the toothbrush.
Yeah, that's a good thing to have. You don't need an app to show you, hey, you missed here or you brushed here. Is that illegal to access somebody's, like when a private investigator does that, is that illegal to break into somebody's phone?
No. The wife had downloaded the app so that she could watch, make sure the kids were brushing, that sort of thing.
It was
the private
a family
investigator.
thing.
Yeah, the private investigator was the one that said, "Hey, let me see that. Let me see that data. How come every Friday he's brushed his teeth at this time?" It's like, well, we're not home at that time. He should be at work at that time. Dun dun dun.
Damn. Honey,
All right,
you're cheating on me. How do you know that? You're brushing your teeth.
brushing your
Friday
teeth at 10:45.
Mistake number one.
Again, that's like the fourth mistake. I want you to know. Friday night, something weird happened in the Dodgers-Mets game that would have left me confused if I'd watched it. I am a lifelong baseball fan. I've considered myself a bit of a baseball aficionado over the years. I thought I knew the rules of the game pretty well. Most fans thought they knew the rules of the game pretty well. Do you know the story I'm going to tell you about?
No, I was going to back you up by saying,
okay,
Ross knows that I'm not a baseball aficionado. I like going to the games, hanging out, watching. I know most situations. But for 15 years we've been doing this show, I've always referred to Ross when I needed baseball knowledge I deferred to you. I needed you to explain things to me.
Thought I understood the rule book pretty well. Okay. Third inning of the game, Mookie Betts is at the plate. Michael Conforto's on second, and Shohei Ohtani is on first. Betts hits a fly ball into right center field, deep right center field. Conforto and Ohtani are going to tag up. Okay. Mets outfielder Tyrone Taylor and Juan Soto are coming together. They kind of collide as the ball is coming down, and Taylor's glove hits the ball, but he doesn't catch it. It bobbles. Okay. And it's that little, Three Stooges routine ensues. Balls bobbling. Taylor catches the ball. As Taylor catches the ball and looks up, Conforto had already left second base. He left as soon as the ball hit the glove, thinking that it had been caught. Turns towards third and runs. And the replay clearly shows that he's running towards third off of second base while the ball is still being bobbled by Taylor. Taylor's throw comes into second base where Shohei Ohtani is running into second. Mets catch the ball, touch second, thinking the Dodgers are, yes, Mets catch the ball, touch second, thinking Conforto's out for not tagging up, right? He didn't wait till the ball was caught.
Yeah.
Right?
Wrong.
You can go on touch.
It's funny that you say that because I was wondering something. I was watching the Nebraska UCLA game this weekend, and the play was challenged. It was a play at first, Ross. It was a bang play. Okay. First baseman stretches out to receive the ball from second baseman or the shortstop or third baseman, whatever. When the foot is not on the bag, when the ball hits the glove, but the glove's still open. Okay. You have to grip it to make it an official catch. When he closed the glove, the foot was on the bag. And I'm like, how do you rule that? Because do you have control when the ball hits the glove or when you secure said ball in glove? And UCLA had challenged the call and lost it based on the ball was technically
in the glove.
Yeah,
touching the glove. And dude, I didn't know this. I thought you had to wait till the ball was caught. And I would have challenged that. And it seemed like when they showed the replay, people were, because the Mets did challenge it. The Mets are like, no, one of those guys, he's out at second. He didn't tag up. In the replay, they come back and they say, no, it turns out he did because you can go on touch. I did not. That was a new one to me.
Think about this. 100 and some plus years of baseball, and there's a group of people who are just figuring this out for the very first time, including both of us.
Sam said Dave Concepcion had a play like that in the early 80s. That's a good name. Dave Concepcion.
Yeah.
Davey Lopes. Manny Trio.
Best baseball names.
Randy Reddy.
You know what I'm starting my morning with? I'm starting my morning with a Topo Chico from Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling. Lemon, lime, and mint. It's refreshing here in the morning. It gives you that nice burn down your throat of that carbonation without all the yucky stuff. Just 5 calories, 1 carb. Great day to just pick me up. If you want a Topo Chico, get one near you at your favorite convenience store. Brought to you by Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Good. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how bats and bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
Fong's Pizza has moved to 317 East Court in the East Village and is ready for good weather with an expanded menu and a patio that is ready for pals, pints, and pizza. Fall in love all over again with the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
I'm Corey Warren, and I'm an automotive technician here. I've worked here for right over 3 years. I was working for an independent shop. I'd say the environment, it's laid back and easy to get along with everybody. I've got a lot of old cars that me and my brothers and dad work on, so I do a lot of that stuff. There's actually stuff to do. I grew up in a small town, so there's not that far from being able to do stuff.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Hitting the summer stretch. What, Eli's last week of school?
Yeah. And Audrey, I think, goes to like Tuesday, something like that, next week. So she's got a couple more days, but no biggie. Like, people heard me say that yesterday, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, our school's already out." Yeah, I know. I'm all right with it. Doesn't bother me a bit.
A lot of driving this summer. Get him ready to.
No, dude.
Yes,
I got to get. I'm so far behind with so many things with them, man.
Don't worry,
It's
my
funny
daughter's
you say
18 and hasn't driven yet, so that's
yeah.
She has no interest in it.
That's the thing. He just not. It's weird. Doesn't seem to want to drive. I couldn't wait to get a car and have that freedom, and I don't know. So just different.
Big news yesterday was the announcement that Caitlin Clark had an MRI after the game with the New York Liberty, and Caitlin Clark will miss at least, Ross, and they put this caveat on there, it could be longer, at least 2 weeks of action for the Indiana Fever. This ends an incredible streak. She hasn't missed a game since her high school days. She never missed a game at the University of Iowa. She never missed a game her rookie season in the WNBA. And now, 5 games into her second season, she's out for at least 2 weeks, which will be 5 games. Many of those are winnable, but this is a blow for Caitlin Clark. It's a blow for the Indiana Fever. And let's be honest, it's a blow for the WNBA.
Huge. I mean, the question is, well, what will the impact be? Massive. I'm not saying everybody tunes out.
I will. The only reason I watch the WNBA is for Caitlin Clark. It is the only reason. 3 years ago, we were making fun of this league. And now you don't have much interest in it. You do, but not to the point where it's appointment television. I try to record all of Caitlin Clark's games. I like to go watch just to see how she reacts in certain situations, see how they're double teaming her, how they're defending her. I've really gotten into it because she's become such a mega superstar. And the WNBA knows it. I saw a stat the other day that last year she accounted for like 26.1% of the revenue of the WNBA. That's an incredible number for one player.
And probably low.
You're probably right on that. You're probably now they'll still get TV viewers, but it won't.
Yeah, not everybody will tune out. Travis, the longevity thing is incredible. That she didn't miss a single game in her career at Iowa. That's amazing. This is why the LeBron thing is, again, the fact that he avoided major injury. Because we've had a lot of dudes that have shown up and been like, Mike Trout. We just had a conversation a couple months ago about Mike Trout. A few years ago, we were saying this guy's on pace to be the greatest player ever. Not anymore. Injuries. Is it a left hamstring strain? Did I see that right? Quad strain. Okay.
And she told Stephanie White after the game against the New York Liberty, she goes, "Hey, I felt some leg pain." Remember, and let's not forget, she missed a preseason game because of a quad injury.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the one right before she came to Carver.
Yeah, right before Carver. They're saying it's not related to that, but they ran an MRI and found that she had a strain and now is going to miss 5 games is a lot. When you only play, 44 games, 5 games is a lot, especially when it comes to playoff seeding, all that stuff. Her odds of winning the MVP dropped. So she was the odds-on favorite to win the MVP. She was averaging 19 points, 9 assists a game, leading the league in assists. And boom. And that's what you when you're an athlete, you don't get to determine this stuff. You never know when this stuff's going to drop on you.
All right. So like Ray says, my wife gives the fever more attention than she gives me. That's a funny line. First of all, Ray. But so like Ray's wife, here's what's going to happen. Okay. It's only 2 weeks. It's only 5 games. The attention will not fall off. Let me be really clear here. Most of the attention is going to fall off right away. Caitlin Clark's not there, but a lady like Ray's wife is going to watch. Now she's interested. She's invested in some of these other ladies. She's going to cheer for them to rise up. You don't have Caitlin. Let's see how good. And by the way, as we've talked about, they did change that roster over completely. They are good enough to compete without her. So look, it'll be like this little can-do story.
Tony, who called in yesterday, he was a track and field coach at the high school level for many years, 30-some years at Webster City. So quads are insidious. Often athletes try to return too quickly, and it nags on and on and on. And Caitlin Clark seems like the type of athlete that would say, hey, I'm ready to go. Because nobody likes to sit. Nobody likes to be on the sideline. Stephanie White, who's the head coach of the Indiana Fever, says this is a good opportunity for Caitlin to sit on the bench and view the game through the lens of a coach, and might even help her in the long run. I mean, it's an interest. You want to put a positive spin on it.
That's exactly what that is. That's smart. That's smart. And we're going to get something out of this. That's smart. It's 5 games, and Caitlin Clark is going to be watching it as a competitor. Caitlin Clark is not going. She's not turning something off to go. Okay, let me be reverent here. No. It's Caitlin Clark. She can be screaming and yelling. They're gonna have to put her up. They're gonna have to take her away from the bench so that she doesn't.
Yeah, she's gonna be out on the court going.
Yeah.
Yes. Now the downside to this break, one of the games they play in the 5 games will be the Chicago Sky, which of course would be that rematch with Angel Reese. Chicago's yet to win a game, but there would have been a big eyes on that game.
Yeah, I'm all right with the break.
Clark.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
I'm getting sick of that. I'm getting sick of that race baiting storyline that happens every time they play each other now. It's not helping anything. It might be helping the WNBA. It gets eyeballs, gets us talking about it. I'm okay. I actually good. Good that we don't get ESPN to beat down our head how. I didn't know that Jamel Hill was back on TV. Do you know she's on CNN now?
Yeah, she's been on, she's on that round table with, Scott Jennings. You ever watch Scott Jennings? Yeah.
I was blown away. A clip showed up the other day. I'm like, Jamel Hill's being taken seriously? On, like, serious issues. Wow. You can fail up.
You can fail up. And she kind of has. But when you have a name, when you have an opinion, whether it's a good one or a bad one.
When you have a hammer. When you have a hammer, you can look for a nail, baby.
And they needed somebody to counter, because nobody else on that round table was countering Scott Jennings at all. I don't. Do you know who Scott Jennings is?
Do I know who Scott Jennings is? Are you kidding me?
Like the voice of reason.
That's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I did not know that. I saw her pop up on a thing. I was like, oh.
And she gets involved in the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese conversation a lot.
I would imagine. Well, that's her wheelhouse.
There are 2 storylines that I really want to follow here. One, how the Fever do without Caitlin Clark. I mean, how is this team? Because you're right, they turned over that entire roster, or most of the roster. How does this team perform? They've got winnable games against the Mystics, the Connecticut Sun, the Chicago Sky. They won't beat Atlanta, I don't think, without Caitlin Clark. There's one other team in there that they play. But the other storyline is, what are the TV ratings without Caitlin Clark in uniform? There's a difference between Caitlin Clark sitting on the sideline watching and Caitlin Clark playing. So the 2 storylines that are going to be interesting to follow here is just how the Fever do perform, and then what are the TV ratings in the ratings for the WNBA with Caitlin Clark not playing. And we'll get a good indication. Game one might be a little different because people are interested going, okay, we need to watch this just to see how they do without her. But then after that, does it fall off? Does it drop off? But a loss for the Fever, a loss for Caitlin Clark. Again, you got to go back to Dowling High School the last time she missed a game. That's just an incredible.
That's a really cool stat.
Another story that came up was, and we talked about this last week a little bit, was the NFL allowing its players to participate in the 2028 Olympic Games in flag football. One player will be designated from each team to be a participant if they so choose to do so, but they have to make the team. Well, the quarterback of the flag football team, and I'm trying to find his name. I had it written down.
This is that dude. We've talked about him a couple times.
He's 35 years old. He's from New Orleans, and he's like, I don't know if this is a smart thing to do or a crazy thing to say, but he's like, we don't need NFL players. He's like, we're just fine without the NFL players. I'm going to let you know something. You do need NFL players if you want people to watch said sport. You may be a great flag football player. You may be exceptional.
What you're saying. Say that out loud again for me. Just real slowly. Can you just repeat what you just said for me? You might be an exceptional flag football player. Did you just say that to a 35-year-old man?
Yes.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
Daryl Durette is his name. He's been the quarterback. He's 35 years old. Saying, hey, these guys aren't just going to walk in and we're going to fight for our roster spots. We're just not going to, these NFL players.
Justin Jefferson, Smushton Schmefferson, bring him on.
And he might be right. But at the end of the day, people like star power. We were talking about brand earlier on. It's like the free air. Daryl Durante or Patrick Mahomes. I want to watch Patrick Mahomes play quarterback for Team USA.
Well, Harbaugh already said Lamar Jackson's out. I would imagine the Chiefs are going to say Patrick Mahomes ain't their guy that they're going to roll out there, right?
Yeah.
This is funny. I don't know what else. This is funny. This is going to remind. Do you remember Pros versus Joes?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, when I had a Sunday night TV show over in Omaha, I had a guy that was actually on Pros versus Joes. Guy from Omaha competed. It was like, and he took it all serious, man. I had him on, and I'm like, dude, you really thought you were going to beat these guys? Yeah. I said, I appreciate the competitive spirit, but there need to be some realism here.
Eli's baseball coach fought Houston Alexander a couple times.
Is that right? Did he win?
Yeah. I was just getting ready to look that up to see what his record was against him. I mean, obviously fought him well enough once to fight him a second time.
I mean,
and got in the ring with him one time, so he's that tough.
Houston Alexander was a former UFC fighter, but he was a one-hit wonder, right? Meaning he landed one of those good punches that just knocked the guy out and got a big win on a big fight night. Now, I wouldn't want to fight Houston. I know Houston personally. But he wasn't dominant, but should we say, in the UFC.
Wow, what names. This is fun to look at. Anyway. Yeah, that was, I don't know why the competing with Omaha people is what it was.
No, it's just interesting to see these guys competing against pros.
It'll be interesting to see. When I say interesting, I was going to say it'd be interesting to see the tryout. It'd be interesting to see the tryout, and honestly, I might have just as much interest in watching the tryout as I will the actual competition. This watching the flag football Olympics. You're going to watch a flag football team from name a country. I don't want to be offensive. So name a country because it's funny no matter what country you put in it. The German flag football team. I'm not saying they won't win. What I'm saying is what? What are we what? The Japanese flag football team and the Denmark flag football team put on a barn burner. You won't believe the highlights coming up next on NBC. The Mexican flag football team squared off with the Sudanese flag football team in a blowout.
I believe Team USA beat Mexico in a FAFI.
Stop it.
Final.
Stop
a couple years ago. Seriously.
Did you just try to acronym the Flag Football Association of Federated Flag Football Leagues?
Because they have it. I was doing research before this show started today.
The FFL, the Flag Football League. The PFFL, the Professional Flag Football League. The AAPPFFL, the All-American Professional Pro Football Flag League. The MAPL.
Just trying to get what it is now.
I know. I'm not knocking you for it.
It's
somebody
IFAF.
said the International Flag Football Association.
Federation, I believe. And just to let you know, I was just trying to.
The IFFF, the
IFAF is what it is.
The IFAF. What? How's that? What's that?
International Flag. I don't know. I don't know what the IFAF stands for. International Federation of American Football.
No, that's not what this
is.
That's not flag football. The International Federation of American Football.
There are 76 member federations, 20 full members, 30 allied members. The world rankings, USA number 1, Mexico number 2, Japan number 3, Austria number 4, Great Britain number 5, Canada number 6, Spain number 7, Germany number 8, and Panama number 9, and Italy number 10. There's your full breakdown.
We're going to watch flag football in the Olympics.
We won't if they're not NFL players.
And here's the deal. We won't. I don't think I will either. Anyway. Every now and again, the Olympics surprises me, but it's really kind of I've lost interest in it. I used to like the bobsled, and I like the beach volleyball sometimes.
I'm an old school guy. I like track and field for the Olympics. I like basketball, I guess, for the Olympics. I've never been into the X Games type of games for the Olympics. Never quite understood those. But yeah. But do you agree with me that the NFL players put a name to it?
No doubt about it, Trav. Yeah, absolutely. If there are, think if Cooper DeJean is on the team, that's a great name of will that draw interest? Damn right. Now, I'm not being rude here because whoever I'm about to talk about is a far better athlete than I ever dreamt of being. But what if you replace Cooper DeJean with the best Iowa flag football player?
Means nothing. It's meaningless.
Means nothing. A 29-year-old dude from Waterloo who runs a 4.5. Cool. That's awesome. He's a super athlete. I'm glad he's getting a chance to win an Olympic gold medal. Go represent the country. Do great with it. Which one? Which would you rather watch? It's 1,000 to 1. You going to watch the WNBA without Caitlin Clark? No. You going to watch flag football without star power?
No.
So it's gimmick. It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick that they're doing it. And I'm going to hold my breath on having a real opinion about it until I see what type of NFL players get into this thing. I even think a Cooper DeJean is the type of player that the Eagles look at and go, we're not letting you do this. Yeah, this is cute. We'd like to have one of our guys out there, and we'd love to have one of, because isn't there 10 guys that are making the roster?
I think so, and only one allowed from each
to
NFL team.
From each team. So, would it be neat to have the Eagles be represented by one of those things? Yeah. Does it have to be Cooper? No. Just like it doesn't have to be Lamar Jackson. This is great though. This 35-year-old dude. I've been slinging it, man. You guys don't know. You don't know you don't know the mean streets of this flag football league.
You don't know the skill set that it takes to win in flag football.
You guys don't know the IFAF. Has you even been through the clearinghouse?
I do kind of feel sorry for him though, and hear me out. And the fact that, hey, you're finally get recognized. You're going to be an Olympic sport. You've been winning for several years. You get to the most important tournament you're ever going to play in, which is the Olympics, because nobody really follows the IFAF. And then you're going to be like, here's my chance at a gold medal, and you may have to give up your spot because you're not a name. You might be the best, but you're not a name.
I guess nobody else is gonna toot his horn. This is like I can't remember the guy's name, but this is literally the third time we've talked about this dude.
Yeah,
and he's a 35-year-old flag football player from New Orleans.
Who's working a day job right now, right? I mean, I would assume that you're working a day job.
What? Listen. Maybe the IFAF has a better pension package than we. Yeah. He's 9 years in the league. He's fully vested.
Probably some dudes in the Barnstormers right now going, hey, I think I could be on the Olympic team. I saw a shot from the Barnstormers game the other night at Wells Fargo. There wasn't anybody there.
It's been a long time since I went to a Barnstormers game. Dixie Wooten was the last time I was at a Barnstormers game.
And it was Dixie that got you to go, right? I mean, because he had that personality to where
it was the whole team. I don't want to put it. Dixie definitely became the face of it.
Yeah.
Our buddy Joe Stacy still does the games, and Joe was definitely part of it. John Pettit, who was a wonderful GM and did a great job of keeping the team kind of front and center and all that. It's just been a while. It's been a long time. Way out of
the
sight, out of
I-Cubs
mind.
are different from the Wild, and the Wild had a good. I mean, they still were bringing 4,000 to 6,000 people in, which is good.
Great.
But if you look at the T-Wolves or the Iowa Wolves, you look at the Iowa Wild, you look at the Iowa Barnstormers. When we had those coaches on a regular basis, those coaches had such great personalities.
Yeah.
Derek Lalone, Tim Army, Dixie Wooten.
And listen, the Barnstormers coach right now, Dave Mogeson's his name. I've met him. Really fun dude. I just don't. He's just not out in the public as much. I guarantee if we reached out, he'd love to come on, and he's a really fun guy to talk to. But they're just not as prevalent. And I'm sure it's the same thing with. Here's the problem. We're about to have the problem here. I was going to say, I bet we'd have the same thing with the coach of the Wolves or the coach of the Wild. I don't even know who those guys are.
Either do I.
Don't know their names.
I have no clue who they are. Could walk up to me and be like, hey, what's up, dude? Got to buy your beer? What do you do for a living? I coached the Iowa Wild. Really? Let me tell you about Derek Lalone. Great relationship with that guy. Let me tell you about Tim Army. That dude sits on his property in Maine and shoots chipmunks with an air rifle.
And that's a street that goes both ways. That's our fault for not knowing that, and their fault for not being forward and front and center and out there so much that you have to know. I knew the name Ben McCollum before we ever talked to Ben McCollum. I know the name Marty Peavy. He's the manager of the Iowa Cubs, in case you were wondering. He's been there for a long time.
But where baseball is different is, it's one of those sports you're just going to go to. It's like, oh, what are you doing tonight?
Yeah,
Let's go to Principal
the
Park.
game. Yeah, that's true.
It is. It's the atmosphere. It's the game.
Yeah.
It's been established. It's been around for years. The Barnstormers, hell, I don't even know what league they're in anymore. Those indoor football leagues
great point.
So much. So much. Because the original indoor football or arena league football, I don't even know if that exists anymore. Then you have all these other indoor leagues.
Wikipedia, it says they still compete in the Indoor Football League.
Ray says it's time for Tim Army. I don't disagree with that. It's always good to catch up with Tim Army. You never know where it's going to be. China, Yugoslavia. Last time we talked to him, he was in San Jose.
Got 2 minutes?
Yeah. Well, hold the thought.
Are you sure? Okay. All right. This isn't long. This is just a fun memory hole.
Okay. Then we got time.
So when I clicked on the Houston Alexander to see where my buddy Justin Butler had fought him, then I went to Justin's page of his fight records, and that linked me to when he used to fight at Toad Holler. There was this place down on the south side. I've talked to you about this, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was like Fight Club. It was like Fight Club. This place was a tiny little bar. A bar, I mean, it was like they could have concerts, so it wasn't tiny. But, dude, it was not a big arena. And they put up a ring, and dudes could show up and sign up. You didn't have to be a fighter. You could show up in blue jeans and a T-shirt. Be like, hey, I want to fight tonight.
So you put your name. It was like signing up for karaoke.
Yes!
Up next, Ross Peterson and Tyler.
You'd walk in and be like, do you want to fight? You'd go, no. I would say, no.
I just want to watch.
And then people would be nervous about like fights in the crowd, and they were really good. Like if two dudes started to fight in the crowd, they'd be like, hey, you guys want to fight? We'll get you in the ring. You guys fight in front of everybody. Most of the time, guys be like, no, ring's not big enough. It was something.
Put your name on a sheet. Was that bare knuckle fighting at the time?
No, they were wearing gloves. I don't think it was boxing, though. I feel like it was open-fingered. Somebody would remember. Somebody that's listening or watching right now was there and went to those things and remembers. That was like 25-year-old adrenaline.
Heavy metal playing in the background.
Kinda.
Ross
you weren't far off. You weren't far off.
515-517-2303. We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. Good to have you along on a Tuesday morning on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
Hey everybody, this is Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity. We got some great stuff going on this month. Right now, you can get up to $4,000 off on a new QX80 and enjoy 2.9% for 60 months. On top of that, this month, you can enjoy 1.9% out to 60 months, an additional $1,000 off of a new QX60. For more information, stop out at our showroom or visit us online at willisinfinity.com.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, hour number 2. If you're listening on the stream at therushradio.com, thank you so much. If you have an Android phone and haven't downloaded the Android app yet, please do so. It's very simple. Just go to the Play Store, search The Rush with Travis and Ross, and you'll see our little logo there. Just download the app. Provides a great listening experience. You can also find our social media channels there and the podcast replay of the show. If you are watching on YouTube, give this channel a subscription, give the video a like, and also start leaving your comments in the comments section. You can follow our social media channels, X, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. We're here till 8 o'clock today. Good to have you here. What's up, buddy?
Nothing. Had to go, rattle some cages.
Oh, really? Get out of bed. I know everybody else isn't going to school today, but you have to.
No, it's way nicer than that. I'm not a get up. I'm a very, hey, biscuit.
Oh, now do you treat Audrey different than you treat Eli?
Yeah.
My dad would always come downstairs and go, early to bed and early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I'd be like, really? That's the best you got? That's the best you got? You want me to get out of bed at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning? Come on, Pops.
Dad was good about knowing when you'd been out with the boys. And then his line was always early in the morning. It was, if you're old enough to go out and drink with the boys at night, you're old enough to get up with the men in the morning.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, it was not fun.
I never drank in high school. I was a boring dude. I did not drink in high school.
No, this was not high school. This was,
okay.
You know what I mean? This was early 20s working for Dad.
Oh. So you made the mistake of living at home when you were working for Dad then.
Yeah. Lived under. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Did you drink in high school? Were you a drinker in high school?
Oh, no. I was a part of a thing called the Do Crew.
The Do Crew?
Yeah.
Do tell.
So our athletic director was a guy named Rick Powell. He's now on the Southeast Polk School Board. He's been very involved with athletics. His dad was involved with academics, and Rick carried along that same legacy. He a really awesome dude. When I first met Coach Powell, he was the baseball coach at East. He ended up being the athletics director, but way more important than that, he was also a special education teacher. And he started this thing called People PE. I think Rick started People PE. That's who I always attribute it to, as Coach Powell. And People PE was People PE blended the kids that were in learning disability classes with regular kids. Okay. And it paired up those kids that sometimes felt marginalized, or
so kind of like a mentorship program.
Yeah, kind of like almost like a Big Brothers Big Sisters type of thing in a way, but way more of a companion, not a mentorship thing, an equal. You know what I mean? You came in, and the kid that was in the wheelchair that you never had any classes with, or you had PE with him, and you got to know him, and that was really cool. So part of Coach Powell being very involved with kids and loving the lives of his athletes, one of his athletes died in a drunk driving accident, and so Coach Powell started a pledge honor system where he asked athletes to sign a pledge that they wouldn't use drugs or alcohol while they were in high school. And then it was called the Dew Crew because the idea was you drink Mountain Dew instead of
get the caffeine high.
Yeah, get the caffeine high. Yeah,
caffeine and sugar.
Way healthier to chug that Mountain Dew. Not healthier.
Not healthier.
But safer, certainly. Especially when you're 16, 17, 18. So that was that was kind of how Dew Crew, that was the genesis of it. It from a very, very, very tragic thing, something great came of it. And yeah, so I didn't drink. It was effective for me.
You know why I didn't drink in high school? This is going to sound really stupid, because drinking was not taboo in my house.
Oh.
And that I see a lot of Greta's friends and like my kids' friends who
their big deal.
It's a big deal. Do not drink. Do not drink. When you hammer that home, you're like, well, what am I missing here? You know, it's like you're almost daring them to go out and be defiant. Now, I'm not saying this is the way everybody should parent, but it was never taboo in my house. I was up at the shop changing oil and greasing trucks, and it was like, you want a beer? And I'm like, no, not really. But I had access to it all the time. Could have had it any time. I wouldn't have gotten in trouble for it. So once I knew I wasn't going to get in trouble, I was like, what's the big deal then? I'm not going to. And I think we did that same thing with our kids. Now, we didn't sit here and serve them alcohol all the time, but when we went to Italy, do you want some wine? Go ahead and have wine. You know, I mean, it wasn't you want to try it? Go ahead and try it. It wasn't taboo. So once you took that taboo away from me, you're like, well, I'm not really getting away with anything. So yeah, wasn't a drinker in high school. Afterwards, yeah. Became. Well, I like the taste of bourbon. Oh, speaking of bourbon, keep your eye out at Central City Liquor, because coming up probably in about 2 months, our barrel is going to be ready. We have a Knob Creek single barrel coming out, especially for the Rush radio show, and it's going to be for sale at Central City Liquors. Ross has is it sitting right by you? Look at that. The single barrel select experience from Knob Creek.
It's like a display case.
We picked the third option. Can you bring the third option out? Just pick that third bottle up way to the right. Yeah. And I forget, is it 127 proof is what it
125, Trav. 125 is your proof on that?
Yeah.
That's the good stuff.
That's the good stuff right there. And you can see there's some missing. It's because Ross and I both tried all three, and we like that one the best. Even Brian Duax liked that one the best. And so he's being very generous with his barrels. And he's like, hey, I want to basically give you, we don't get the barrel of whiskey. That'd be awesome if we got the barrel of whiskey, but they're going to bottle it with a commemorative bottle for the Rush Radio Show. And you'll be able to buy a bottle of that Rush single barrel bourbon at Central City Liquors.
Rev wants to know if we're going to have a strain at Bud and Mary's. I'm kidding. I'm joking. He didn't ask that.
No, that's not a bad idea.
Let's go through the Knob Creek thing first.
Yeah, well, let us stick to bourbon. We'll see how this works out, and then
stay in your lane, boys. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, Ross. Athletes are interesting people. They're superstitious. They like things to be repetitive. They go through routines, and when it comes to athletes, numbers are a very big thing, right? I mean, guys like to wear to be consistent. They believe there's something to do with their number. Jackson Dart wore number 2 at Ole Miss. He was the Giants moved up they traded to pick up Jackson Dart as a quarterback. They also picked up Russell Wilson. Jackson Dart, of course, has number 2 at Ole Miss, but number 2 was taken at the Giants. And it's because the guy who wore number 3 last year gave that number up for Russell Wilson, but then took number 2. Well, instead of doing a number change, he said, well, Jackson Dart, you can have said number for a price tag.
What's the price tag?
Well, Jackson Dart never said, but he goes, yeah, I'm pretty good with number 6 because number two was way too expensive.
They saw that bonus.
Yeah,
they saw that bonus.
I just had a $9 million signing bonus. I could probably afford number 2, but I'm not going to buy number 2.
Would you, dude? I've always this is a fascinating thing for me, and I've seen a couple of different guys go through this with this particular draft class. It seems like, what was the one? Oh, dude, you weren't here the day we talked about Phil Simms.
Did he wear number 11?
He did wear number 11. Yeah, that basically this has happened. The Jackson Dart's not the only one that's dealing with this, even out of this draft class. The Phil Simms one, Abdul Carter wanted that number, and he said the son said yes. Chris Simms was like, absolutely. The mom and wife. I'm sorry. The mom and daughter came out and said, no, do not take that number off the Ring of Honor. Doesn't get to wear it.
Does the number go on the Ring of Honor? Does the name go on?
Thank you, Travis. I don't, it's something that not a hill I would die on, but I'm glad that I'm really glad that Jackson Dart said, yeah, that's too much for me. Whatever the number was. It's a number.
I mean, are you that superstitious that if
apparently
Jackson Dart isn't? He's like, I wore 6 during training camp. I got kind of used to it.
Yeah.
I kind of like that,
man. I don't know. Numbers are weird to me. Like, have you ever seen that thing of Shaq where they go through his entire jersey list on NBA on TNT?
32.
He was a couple of different numbers because again, playing from. They even include in this run that he goes through. They even include his jersey from Blue Chips. They say, "Hey, you wore this in high school. Why?" And there's for every number he's ever had, he knows the reason behind it. It's like, you wore 33. Why? Larry Bird. You wore 32. Why? Magic Johnson. You were this number here. Why? And everywhere, there's a reason I did it. Were you that way?
Was I that way?
Like, if they gave you a number where you're like, I'm going to be 7 because of Mickey Mantle.
I was.
I'm going to be 23 because of Don Mattingly.
It wasn't because of a player. For some reason, I like the number. In baseball, from Little League through high school, I was always number 2. I was always number 2. And so I'm like, can I have number 2? And once you got it your freshman year, it's not. You just kind of kept it, right?
Yeah.
In football,
one always went to either the smallest or fastest kid on your team.
That's true. I was not the smallest kid, and I was not the fastest kid, but for some reason, I still said, "Can you get that number 2 in a double X?" And I wasn't a double X in high school. Can you get? And that's usually the way it worked, right? The lower numbers were the smaller jersey size.
Yes.
You just worked up, and
Yeah.
If you were number 30, you were the fat kid on the team, right?
Dude, when you're a little league coach, that's how you assigned the numbers.
100%.
All right, everybody line up smallest to biggest. And then you get the smallest jersey, and we're going to work our way up.
Tommy's number 1. Jimmy, you're number 56.
Yeah.
I don't want to wear 56.
Yeah. Well,
you're the fattest.
Yeah,
you're the
then
fattest.
you need to join a team with some fatter kids.
Football, I was always number 14. I still have my 14 jersey. And I would say today, when I see jerseys or if I see something, I'm like, if I'm going to get something with a number on it, I try to get the number 14. And there was no reason from a professional standpoint, not that I was ever going to be a professional athlete, but I mean, an influence that I had from a professional athlete. I just like the number 14. So I guess my 2 lucky numbers, if I were to say that now, would be number 2 and number 14. Do you remember what jersey number you wore in high school?
They gave me a jersey?
Well, come on.
I don't think mine had a number on the back.
And it was low because it was a small jersey. It was a small jersey number.
I don't remember what number they gave me in football. I just remember the way the headaches felt. No, dude, I would have been, and I'm not kidding. I'm not being self-deprecating. I don't remember what numbers I ever had, and I can about guarantee you that by the time they got to me to pick it, I was picking what was left over.
Here was Ross's athletic career in high school. He's keeping scorebook on for the East High Scarlets. He's doing varsity games.
They didn't keep book for varsity games.
Oh, I see.
How's cute? How cute that you thought that Coach Powell let me in the varsity dugout.
Okay.
That's cute. That's cute.
Okay, now I got to change the story a little bit because I just assumed you made varsity. I should never have made that assumption. Okay, you made the JV team?
I was on the varsity debate team.
Okay, no, that didn't count. They don't give you jerseys. You have to wear a suit and tie for that stuff.
Yeah, I learned how to tie a tie because I was on the debate team.
Okay, stick with me. I'm going to. This
best
is the way.
Baseball player on the debate team.
This is the way it went, especially at small schools that couldn't afford like new uniforms all the time. You'd have the one kid. You're like, hey, you made the varsity. Congratulations. We ran out of uniforms, so you're going to wear a JV uniform.
You have to wear the JV uniform.
You're going to wear the JV uniform.
Yeah. That now you're understanding how. Ross, what number were you? I don't ever remember looking at the back.
I was just happy. All it said on the front was East, and that's all that mattered. Scarlets.
I remember it being like Mean Joe Green commercial. I remember the jersey flying across the locker room towards me, and then the season was over, and I had 6 at-bats.
But I laid down 3 really good bunts.
3 for 6, baby. 3 for 6. Not a lot of guys can say they hit 500 over the course of a season in a really good Metro League. Now, it was my sophomore year, and I was 3 for 6. But
I made this assumption over these 15 years that you and I have known each other that was always varsity ball.
No. No. Didn't even run varsity cross country. Never ran cross country in a varsity meet. I was a pretty good JV cross country runner. I was a good debater. What else did I try?
But that's all that matters is that you tried.
The stuff I loved was the nerdy stuff. The academic quiz bowls. Like Greg was talking the other day about speech and debate. Remember, he's like, yeah, I was on the speech team. Ross was a master debater. Thanks, Greg. I loved doing speech.
Okay, of all the sports I played in high school, I played basketball, I played football, I played baseball, and I was a 110-meter high hurdler.
That's the one that blows me away. That's so awesome.
I wasn't very good.
I couldn't clear a hurdle in high school. Not one of those high hurdles. I couldn't. You could have given me as much of a run up as I needed to, as much training. I couldn't have cleared one of those. Good job out of you. I'm impressed.
Now, in junior high, I was a really good anchor on the shuttle hurdle relay team, believe it or not. But those were low hurdles. When I got to high school and they moved into the high hurdles, I just did it because I could run hurdles, but it was like I could never do the whole 110 meters without hitting one because I would 3-step them, but by the 9th hurdle, I'd be like, dude,
it's still incredible to me because you're not a real tall guy.
No, 6 foot, 5'11", 3/4, but we round up, so it's 6 foot. We round up, so it's 6 foot. I can show you a picture of like I have running tights on. I used to, I had the running tights.
Like FloJo?
Yeah. Yeah.
People, do people still remember? Do the kids still know FloJo? But now it would be like Angel Reese wears like the one, yeah. Because it was Florence Griffith Joyner.
Yep.
And then she had like a cousin, or who was the other lady that ran with Florence Griffith Joyner? Remember they were like friends, but I feel like they were married to brothers or something.
Yeah, it's sparking a memory in me, and I can't, for the life of me, I can't figure it out. Now I'm sure one of our listeners probably knows, and they is in the same time frame too.
Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Okay.
But FloJo was the one that wore the one leg tight. She had the real fancy nails. I'm going to show Audrey Florence Griffith Joyner. She could be like, oh, that's my hero.
Is she still alive?
I thought she passed away. She did. She died in 1998.
Really? If you would have asked me, the reason I asked if she was still alive, because I kind of knew she was dead, but if you would have said 1998, I would have been like, no. Was that FloJo who died or Jackie Joyner Kersey?
That was FloJo. Florence Griffith Joyner.
Didn't she have like the heart thing, like the enlarged heart?
Man, look at you.
Yeah, I think she had the enlarged heart. Could be wrong.
This always does bring back. Thanks, Sam. Remember Jackie Joyner Kersey when I got to meet Danny Harris and know Danny Harris pretty well, who was a part of those Olympic teams in '84.
God, 84 Olympic Games. Mary Lou Retton,
who just had an OWI. You know what, Danny, and I want to preface this because Danny didn't have the best. Danny was not necessarily this. Everybody that I'm about to say this about would say trust the source on this because Danny kind of had a sketchy
troubled
past.
Yeah,
troubled past. You know what he told me, Trav?
What?
They were all on steroids.
Does that surprise you though?
It's just like, again, hearing this in 1999, you're like, what? No. Like, yeah. Now looking back on it, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. He would have known.
Yeah, I'm reading this story about Mary Lou Retton, who was America's sweetheart, won the gold medal in '84, coached by Caroli. Arrested at age 57, charged with one misdemeanor count of driving under the influence of alcohol, controlled substances, or drugs on May 17th. She got a $1,500 personal recognizance bond and was let out. Now, wasn't she about a year ago, like on her deathbed, and had to do like a GoFundMe?
Right. Yeah, she had like I want to say she had cancer. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, I don't know if we ever really knew what it was.
Yeah, I don't remember, Trav. What I do remember that she was like having this kind of
because she didn't have any health insurance.
Yeah, it was kind of a sad public plea of like, man, this is where I'm at.
Rob reminded me, it's Flo Hyman, who is a volleyball player, she had the enlarged heart. She died like that. And again, this is going back to, I think, 84 or 88 Olympic Games. But she was a hell of an athlete, but had the enlarged heart, and it gave out on her. There's a rabbit hole that I never thought we would have gone down today.
Yeah. Jackie Joyner-Kersee.
Florence Griffith.
Didn't think
Joyner.
Flojo was. You can check Flojo off the rundown.
Yeah, we just off the rundown. Amazing. Spontaneous is what it is. Absolutely spontaneous. Quick NBA update. Oklahoma City beat Minnesota last night, 128-106. Gilgeous-Alexander with 40 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists, as the Thunder go up on the T-Wolves 3-1. You have game 4 tonight between the Pacers and the Knicks. And update, Tyrese Halliburton's dad is going to be in the stadium. They are going to let Tyrese Halliburton's dad back in to watch. Of course, he has missed 8 games after his confrontation with Giannis. What's that?
Get the hell out of here. He has missed 8 games.
He's missed 8 games. Hadn't got to see his son play in 8 games.
Oh, yeah, but here's the deal. Yes, he has.
Yeah, watch him on TV.
I watched clips of him at a bar jumping around. Okay.
They're going to confine him to a suite.
Confine him to a suite.
Mr. Halliburton, we're sorry you can't sit courtside, but we're going to put you in a suite where there's unlimited food, unlimited drinks. You're going to be really close to a bathroom, and
we hope you've learned your lesson.
Have you learned your lesson?
What are the chances the camera knows which suite he's in? What are the chances?
100%.
This is like when Taylor. This is gonna be like when Taylor Swift shows up at the game. It's just, how many times are we gonna see Mr. Halliburton? You can come to the suite, but don't bring a jersey. It's so dumb. I love it. I love the world sometimes. I think it's hilarious.
Who makes that phone call?
Do
the Pacers call? Does Tyrese call? Hey, Dad, guess what? You can go to the game tonight. You know, I'm having fun at this bar, son. I think I might just go hang out. I made some really good friends. You were hoping they held him out for the whole season, though, weren't you?
I think they should have told the guy, yes, that's at the least. They should have said, you don't get to come back this year. The story will die off. Next year, it'll be a blurb. Oh, yeah, Halliburton's dad's back in the building. We forgot about that story from last year.
515-517-2303. Got a half hour to go. We're going to talk some college football. It's going to get interesting. The peacocking is starting in college football. Yeah. Big 12, ACC, throwing their thoughts out there. SEC, really throwing their thoughts out there. And the Big 10 just laying in the weeds. It's interesting politicking that we have going on now in college football. And we're talking about the 2026 season. It's the Rush Radio Show, brought to you by and powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Hi, my name's Jerry Rodriguez. I'm a Lexus technician, and I've been with Willis about 28 years. My favorite part about working at Willis has to be my coworkers, teammates, a lot of like-minded folks with the same goals in mind, and that's taking care of the customer. We have the fishing. I enjoy fishing. We have a lot of good fishing here in the Des Moines area with various lakes.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Spring is here. It's pothole season. Potholes can wreak havoc on your suspension and alignment. If you come into Willis Chevrolet during the month of May, like mentioned in this video, we'll check your alignment for free and give you $30 off if you need one. Give us a call or schedule online today at willischevy.com.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along on a Tuesday. It is the 27th of May. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. We're here till 8 o'clock today. Check out our social media channels on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Of course, you can listen live all week long, all day long at therushradio.com or with the Rush Radio Android app on your Android phone. Still working on the Apple thing. Apple's just different, but sooner or later we'll get it figured out. And when you go to therushradio.com, go to the promotions page. Another day to get signed up for the Shane Gillis tickets. Shane Gillis coming to Wells Fargo Arena on Saturday night. I mean, he's so popular that I mentioned I'm going to be in Muscatine on Saturday. It's my nephew's graduation party, but I said, hey, I got to leave early because I got to go to Shane Gillis. And Greta goes, Dad, you're going to see Shane Gillis? Which kind of surprised me. An 18-year-old, newly graduated high school girl knew who Shane Gillis was. So I was like, man, you going to go to Shane Gillis? I'm like, yeah, I got to go to Shane Gillis. So 18-year-old girls find Shane Gillis funny. That's good.
I went to a graduation party yesterday. One of my best friends, Dusty, his boy Derek, graduated. I don't like thank you cards.
Hold on. You don't like to receive them, or you don't like to make them?
I just don't like them in general. I don't think. Okay. I think that thank yous are wonderful. That's an important part of receiving a gift, is saying thank you. And sometimes the only way to do that, if you get a card in the mail, is to send a card back that says thank you for the gift. That I understand, that I appreciate, that I don't hate. What I do hate is if I show up at a party and I give you money and you say, thank you. Or you don't even see me I drop the card in the bucket, okay? And I go over and I see the young man or graduate and I say, congratulations. And they say, thank you. Done. We're good. We're good. Man. This is over.
Piss me up.
This is over. Do not waste your time and money sitting down, being miserable for even 9 seconds, thinking, oh God, gotta thank you, Ross, for coming to my party and for the gift.
So it's funny that you say this, because I learned something with my mom's funeral. And I didn't know that people leave money for an honorarium like in the basket. And so I didn't know this. And as part of the care package the funeral home gave us was 4 boxes of thank you cards. I'm like, what are these for? And then we take the basket home and we're like, oh, we got to write 150 thank you cards. So I looked at my wife and I said, my handwriting sucks. Get writing. Okay, it didn't really go down like that, but in my head, it went down like
That's
that.
how it was going to go down.
Because before it went down like that, Anjanette just said, hey, let's do these together. You open the envelope, tell me who it's from, give me the address, and she took care of it, right? Because
okay. That makes sense.
I don't, but eventually it would have been like, hey, are you going to take care of this? And I didn't have to get to that point. But we got them out like the next day.
The thank you card to me, because I've had people that were like, that get upset. I didn't get a thank you. Yeah, I said thank you. No, I was expecting a card back. Oh, so you didn't give me a gift. You initiated an unwanted trade. Cool. Okay.
What if they don't talk to you when you're there? Like I was recently at a wedding.
Care. I don't give a crap.
I'm with you.
I don't care. I didn't go and leave the gift for the thank you. I didn't. Again, a thank you is nice. It's very cool. If I don't get one, I'm not walking out there going, I could take my damn card back.
I did like in the funeral responses, they would write in the honorarium, no thank you needed. So
you scribble that next to my name. If I even I don't remember if I put my name in there.
Well, you didn't leave an envelope with money, so
good. Yeah, then don't do. Yeah, you're right about that. I showed up. That's what I did.
That's all, and that's all I really
drove my ass over there.
Again, I didn't know, but then I started going through my head. I've been to all these funerals. I didn't know I was supposed to leave money.
Yes,
I'm like, I'm supposed to leave $20. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
all this time.
Some people like left 50. I'm like, what are you leaving $50 for? Just thank you for being here. I bought you lunch. That's good.
Yeah.
Ross, college football, there's something new coming out with college football every single day. Last week it was, hey, they agreed on the 2025 straight seating way, right? They were like, oh, yeah. And the SEC meeting started in Destin, Florida yesterday, I believe. And Greg Sankey, who's the commissioner of the SEC, kind of threw an opening shot in his address to athletic directors and coaches at the Big 12 and the ACC, who after the straight seating came out, they never got to talk about 2026 because that hasn't been solved yet. And both Phillips and Yormark from the Big 12 said separate things, said, hey, all we want is what's best for college football. And Greg Sankey yesterday says, I don't need anybody to tell me what's best for college football. And that's some peacocking right there.
Dude.
It's a reminder of don't piss me off. There's two leagues that control here. And what it comes down to is 2026. And Sankey was surprised at he actually made a comment, and I'm just paraphrasing here, that, we didn't need 12 teams. We could have done the whole thing with 4. We didn't need 12 teams. There's more interest. I think it's good.
We did this for you.
That's kind of what
That's what it said. That's what it was.
And he was shocked at the desire to go to 16 teams. But where the pissing match is going to start and where the peacock is starting when it says nobody needs to tell me what's best for college football is because, and I'll give the Big Ten credit here. The Big Ten just laying back and watching. Big Ten knows that it has power, but what does real power do? It just shuts up and manages things from behind the scenes. It doesn't need to go out and flex its muscles. SEC, for some reason, wants to flex its muscles. But the Big Ten and the SEC are in favor of, the 4-4-2-2-1 model. And that is
4-4-2-2-1. Explain that.
That would be 4 automatic bids for the SEC, 4 automatic bids for the Big Ten, 2 automatic bids for the Big 12, 2 automatic bids for the ACC, and 1 automatic bid for the group of 5 when it goes to the 2026 model. The Big 12 and the ACC have said, well, hold my beer here for a second. They are in favor of the 5-1-11 model, which would be 5 conference champions, automatic bids. 1, the 5-11 model. So my dad,
okay.
so just
okay.
5. So
okay.
5 automatic bids for the highest ranked group of 5, and then the rest of the power conferences, then 11 at-large bids. And the Big Ten and the SEC don't want that.
They don't want to play fair.
They don't
This
want to
is
play
fair.
I mean,
this is business. This is
that's
money.
the most realistic model. Oh, you won a conference championship? You're in. Everybody else, you're an at-large bid.
Listen, your Mark's right. Hey, you know what's best for college football? I need to give some ground here on the whole. All the players should be paid, and they got to split the pie up. We're going to destroy this. Now, I don't mean
4-4-2-2-1 model that will destroy it.
Consolidating all the power is going to destroy this. That's what I mean. Splitting up the money, man, it's like the window dressing to the real problem. The NIL stuff and the all these different collectives and the way they're trying to do the shell game. That's what we're all focused on as the problem. That's the window dressing. The big issue is this: the consolidation of the power of right now, it being the Big Ten and the SEC. But we've already talked to several different people about, that's just the final matchup. Those are just the last two bosses. And eventually, a decade down the road, we're going to see the clash of the universes of SEC versus Big Ten. They're just positioning themselves for that right now. So your Mark is right.
Survivor.
It's exactly what it is. So your Mark's right to stand up and go, hey, it's better for all of us if we stop this collision of worlds and this collusion of power. And Sankey says, that's cute. That's really cute that you think that. And anybody who was in these positions would act and do and say these exact same things.
100%.
This is the way of the world, and I don't know what the answer is, but I am looking at put my head up from the dirt right now, looking around, going, oh shit, it's gonna fall apart. I think I want to blame greed for it. For the most part. I mean, like the other day, Kirby Smart had some comment about how, hey, this is all going to fall apart. We can't sustain this model. He makes $13 million a year to coach a football team. All right, Kirby, you're right, man. System's broke. You want to take a pay cut? Well, hold on. We can change the system.
Now, you talk about consolidation of power. The consolidation of power would be good if you did what Jamie Pollard talked about last week on our show, was that everybody comes together. It's all under one umbrella. And a 4-4-2-2-1 is not one umbrella. That is, we get double what you get. And that means double revenue.
Double for now. Double this negotiation. These things, again, for how many years do we get double? Or I'm sorry, let's talk about it from Greg's, from the Big 12's point of view, from Brett Yormark's point of view. For how long do I get half? And then what happens after you guys, because once you've got double the power, which, again, man, this is not a negotiation. This is a hostage situation.
Because what can the Big Ten and the SEC do at any time?
Pull the plug. Yeah, pull the plug. And I would imagine in Greg Sankey's office, they've had that conversation of like, I hope this dude overplays his hand. Say something again. Say something. We will pull the plug and take all. And that, man, maybe that, Trav, now, that is why when we had Brent Bloom on, and you see, let's talk about the future. Jamie Pollard. Let's talk about the future. The tone changes. The face changes. Can we just talk about we're winning now and having fun now?
Realignment changed this whole thing.
Oh.
Because the Big Ten goes coast to coast. So, and the SEC goes from Florida to Texas. Okay? So you got...
And comes as far north as what, Missouri?
Missouri.
Yeah.
So you've got the whole country covered. I don't mean this to be an insult. with those teams that are in there, who else would you want? You might want an Arizona. You might want an Arizona State. But for the most part, you could go, we're breaking off. We're doing our own thing.
You know,
and everybody thinks that's a pipe dream. I don't think it is.
Travis, I've been really wrong about this market stuff. Which universities? Because I would say, of course you want one of the Arizonas. And who would want Rutgers?
You want New York.
See, this is where I'm saying my brain isn't able to make that change of it's not about the brand. Very, very rarely. A little bit of it's about the brand. A little bit of it. Most of it's about the number of televisions and stuff like that. And then, when the Big Ten expanded and brought in Maryland and Rutgers, I thought this is a disaster. This is going to be a disaster. They're making more money and cashing larger checks than ever.
But Rutgers is still in debt. UCLA is in so much debt.
But we're talking about the Big Ten.
Yes.
The Big Ten has positioned themselves to be that major player. And they wouldn't have done that without Maryland and Rutgers. It sounds crazy to say that. So do you need an Arizona? Here's what my thought is right now. If they needed them, they'd have them. If the SEC and the Big Ten needed them, they would have got them by now. They had the opportunity. And they did the math. They did the math and knew they could win this war without them. That's so weird.
It's almost like collusion. All right, we're going to go get Texas and Oklahoma. We'll seed you UCLA, USC, and Oregon, and Washington.
I don't know that it's collusion between the Big Ten and the SEC in that way, but I do think that you're onto something with the collusion of the SEC with Texas and Oklahoma. I mean, that's what a conference is. A conference is a collusion. Wow. Dude, this is going to be it's going to be interesting, but I think in that old Chinese proverb way of may you live in interesting times is an actual curse. It's going to be interesting, but I don't know that it's going to be fun.
The SEC right now is trying to decide, and they're getting pressured, and rightfully so, because they play 8 conference games. Everybody else plays 9.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have to probably give up on that one. And those coaches can fight for they want. But if you want your 4 guaranteed spots, Greg Sankey's got to go, hey, if we realistically want to go back and say it's a 4-4-2-2-1 deal, you all got to be playing 9 games, because Big 12, ACC, Big 10 is going to say, yeah, we're not going to give that.
Okay.
You're not going to play 9 games like everybody else.
Now, you're saying that that Greg Sankey's going to have to give that. Is that because they don't quite have the power position to be able to pull that plug yet? Because, again, my gut is Greg Sankey doesn't have to do what he doesn't want to do.
No, but I think with the Big Ten playing 9, you're going to need the Big Ten to play along.
Just for the perception of fairness?
Yes. You're going to have to give that up.
Just to play along for a little while until.
But that's nothing to play along with. That's what you have to celebrate. Hey, in the grand scheme of things, you're playing. We're going to do this Big Ten SEC scheduling type thing, and then you're going to play 9 conference games. It's going to look better.
So, but Trav, if it's all said and done, when the game ends, this whole realignment and power play thing ends, wouldn't it look like them only playing Power 5 schools anyway? Because isn't that part of the idea that, Iowa will never play UNI when this thing is done? Hell, they might not play Iowa State when this thing is over. So why would the SEC then still get to play the High Points and Holy Crosses of the world?
Because they're the SEC and they think they can. And if you keep that one extra game, if you only play 2 Power 5 non-con.
Even when this is all said and done, you're saying, so let's go fast forward 30 years. Is Alabama still playing?
God, I hope not. I hope not. Now, I'm not going to be around in 30 years to see it.
Yeah, you are, Trav. The way you're losing weight, you're going to be 9 pounds in 30 years.
I'm Benjamin Button, man. I'm going backwards. Going backwards.
Dude, have you seen, I'm not sure, I know we have a couple of minutes left here. Have you been paying attention? One of my favorite things has happened on the chat here on the side. Have you noticed this at all? So Rob is Grandview Rob. Remember I told you I was at the ball fields this weekend?
Yep.
And I met a dude and he's like, I'm Grandview Rob. He invited us out. I told him I would come out. And he's like, Trav too. I said, no. And he and Rev went to school together.
Really?
Dude, you got to go back and look at the chat. It's like a Ricky Henderson moment that I saw back there. Where Rev's like talking about Dowling. And Rob's like, oh, yeah, I was on the 82-83 team. Rev's like, oh, I was on that team. And Rob goes, yeah, we were teammates.
You don't expect Ray to remember that.
And so now they're going back and forth. Oh, Grob says I'm not Grandview Rob. That was a different one. Sorry. I misunderstood. I forget. Trying to pay attention to the show and watching that on the side. That was great.
That's why I try not to go to the chat too often because you can. That's a separate show within a show.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Everybody just talking to one another. They're drinking their coffee, going, "Oh, was you from St. Joseph, East Side?"
They were. That's exactly how it was going. I was kind of watching that, and then it was like, I knew that dude. It's like, yeah, I did too. You knew this guy? Yeah, Ray, we were teammates. I did hear the other day John Olerud say that story about the helmet thing is not true. It's kind of a fun story, though. So the story was, that Ricky Henderson and John Olerud played together in Toronto and then got traded to the Mets together the same offseason.
Yeah.
And that during spring training, Ricky Henderson comes running out of the dugout. And remember, John Olerud, he'd had a brain aneurysm in college, so he wore a batting helmet in the field. One of the few players to ever wear a hard helmet when he played first base. The story went that Ricky Henderson came out of the dugout, ran past him, and said, I played with a dude in Toronto last year that wore a helmet just like that. And John Olerud said, yeah, Ricky, that was me. John Olerud had a speech the other day and said, I get asked this all the time. He says, it's not a true story. That didn't actually happen. But the true story of how that story got out is kind of cool too. The Mets had a clubhouse dude, like a clubhouse attendee guy, an equipment manager who was uber creative, and he would create these stories. So he would find photos that got printed in the paper of different players, and he would cut the photo out and then write his own story around it. And the guys all loved it. They thought it was hilarious. And these were the types of stories he would come up with.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. This is actually a dude's comedy bit that we've all been sharing.
And sometimes they take on a life of their own and you go, damn, that's a true story. And how things start. And it shows you how if one person passes it, how quickly it can spread through the masses to where, and even in the future, you'll go, no, that story's not true, but people will tell the story going, you're not going to believe this.
And see, that's the thing. Really good stories have that thread of possibility and truth, right? And everybody knows that the Ricky Henderson stories are legendary, and that one fits the bill. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds like Ricky. There's a podcast, a 30 for 30 podcast that everybody should listen to. It's called Ricky Can't Quit. It's the story of Ricky Henderson's, the end of his career when he's done playing Major League Baseball. No Major League Baseball teams will sign him. He still wants to play. Ricky played in a semi-pro league for an entire summer. Played with this group of it's an incredible story about Ricky Henderson at 46 years old showing up at a league where these dudes are paying to play, some of them. Dude, the first story is he shows up for the first game and he's like, where's the spread? And they're like, Ricky, we literally go to the store and get a loaf of bread and a jar of peanut butter and
Ricky,
jam.
We didn't take a bus or a flight here. We all drove up in our Ford F-150s.
And Ricky said, you don't buy bread and peanut butter anymore. Ricky's got this. And every game the rest of the season, that semi-pro team had a catered meal. It's such a great story, Trav.
If I'm going to play ball, we're gonna do this. Well, so now it makes me wonder: did he really cash his check or not cash his check on that? Remember,
now I've heard Brian Cashman tell that story about how he called Rick Anderson, like, "What'd you do with the $1 million bonus check?" He's like, "Oh, I framed it. It's on the wall." Like, yeah, leave it there. We're gonna write you a new one. Cash this one for us, please.
Our books aren't balancing. What? We gave Ricky $1 million. Oh God. Makes me laugh. So what's it? It's a 30 for 30 podcast?
It's a 30 for 30 podcast. It's not, there's not a movie about it. There's no visual. It's just a podcast. If I remember right, it's a 1 episode thing. Dude. The end of it's so good, man. Ricky Henderson's a treat. He's a treasure.
And God rest his soul, right? Because he recently left us. Again, 2 hours flies by. Thanks for, I guess this is the official start of the week because Monday was an off day for a lot of you. And the numbers today show it.
That's so funny. I loved doing the show yesterday, man. That was fun. I'm glad we did that.
I agree. If you missed yesterday's show, it's up on the podcast version of the show. Go to therushradio.com to listen to the show all day long. When this show will be on repeat for the next 24 hours or 22 hours. Go to therushradio.com, hit the promotions tab, and register to win those Shane Gillis tickets. We'll be giving those away later on in the week. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Hi, my name's Jerry Rodriguez. I'm a Lexus technician, and I've been with Willis about 28 years. My favorite part about working at Willis has to be my coworkers, teammates, a lot of like-minded folks with the same goals in mind, and that's taking care of the customer. We have the fishing. I enjoy fishing. We have a lot of good fishing here in the Des Moines area with various lakes.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Spring is here. It's pothole season. Potholes can wreak havoc on your suspension and alignment. If you come into Willis Chevrolet during the month of May and mention this video, we'll check your alignment for free and give you $30 off if you need one. Give us a call or schedule online today at willischevy.com.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.